And with more on this, we're joined via broadband from New York by TJ Walker, the author of Media Training A to Z. TJ, the first thing these miners asked for was media training. So how lengthy a process is that going to be for people who have never known the glare of the spotlight?
Well, they were given some tips. They were sent down there. The basics are pretty simple. You need to communicate. You need to have fun. You need to smile. You need to share. The problem many people have, doesn't matter if you're a miner or a bank executive, is that the second someone puts a camera on you and a bright light, most people do this. They sort of freeze up. Their face goes blank. Their body gets tense. Their volume goes down. They lose all their expressiveness. That's just not good. And there's going to be some miners who stand out above the others. Some will be more expressive. We just saw the gentleman
Super
dancing
Mario.
around. That's a dance that is going to earn him millions of dollars. Again, what's at stake? There are TV networks willing to pay for interviews. There are movie deals. There are book deals. Some of them may be able to carve entire careers out of giving keynote speeches about how to react in a time of crisis and creating a team atmosphere. So there are many, many avenues for capitalizing and monetizing their newfound fame.
Clearly, so many journalists will be vying for these big interviews. Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer. I mean, the list is huge. What will they have to do to get those coveted moments with these miners?
What won't they do?
Yeah, exactly. More to the point, yeah.
They will beg, borrow, plead. Now, the real dilemma is, do they take a paid interview that has sort of low prestige, or do they go for a really high-profile interview with a Barbara Walters or with your network? And the value of, there's pros and cons. The value of going with the really high-prestige venue is you make yourself more attractive to the book publishers and the public, and you possibly sell more books, get better movie deals. So there's a lot of different ways to carve it out. Regardless, they need to be expressive, to really share their feelings. What was it like? You had to, again, I don't know, I've never been in a situation like that, but you have to think you're worried about your whole life ending, about never seeing your loved ones again, never seeing sunlight again. People want to hear this because it's such an out-of-the-usual experience for a human being to face.
TJ, I have another question for you, but we may have to bail in the middle of it because we're waiting for number 28 to emerge from the depths of the mine. But I'll ask you anyway. The fact that there could be a language barrier, is that going to be a problem for them?
They have every language of people all over the world looking at them. They can be translated. They have the luxury of people coming to them on their terms, so they can have their language translated. But all in all, the more languages they speak, the more marketable they'll be, especially if they speak English.
Is there a chance that there could be some jealousy spring from this, that some will gain superstar status and others won't get much attention at all?
I don't think there's any chance at all that there won't be jealousy. I mean, they were all in it together. Some are going to make millions. Some are going to recoil from this, not like it. Said, no, I don't want to do any interviews. A month will go by, they'll think, Jose here has a brand new house and car. I want a piece of that. And their window of opportunity will be closed.
For these people who, again, their lives are going to be altered forever, is there a part of them they should remain very private about so that they don't reveal too much about their lives?
Well, that's the problem. Once the spotlight is on you, it's very hard to say, okay, you can put the light here, but not there. As we've already seen, if you're relatively unknown and just a regular worker, sometimes you can have a wife and a mistress no one knows. Well, it's going to be a lot harder to keep anything like that quiet. Any skeletons in their closet will come out. So it is a double-edged sword.
How long do you think this story will have legs?
Well, I just saw someone speak at a National Speakers Convention last year, and he was on the team that, the soccer team in the 1970s that crashed in the Andes, where many of the people died and they had to unfortunately eat their own team members just to stay alive. That was in the 70s. He's still on the lecture circuit making a fortune today. So this is a story that touches something very fundamental to what it is to be a human being. So certainly if they do good movies on this, write good books, this is something people will be talking about for decades and decades.
And as an expert on media training, any suggestions to them? Not that they're probably watching this,
Don't
but
try to sound like a banker or a politician.
yeah.
You've got to be real. Tell people how you doubted for your life, your fears, your emotions. That's what this is about.
That's what they want to see.
It's an emotional story.
And we're seeing an emotional moment right now. TJ, thank you very much for this. We appreciate it. As number 28 rather, Richard Villarroel is now brought to the surface. We're assuming that is his child, his daughter, tears of joy, and his wife, perhaps, maybe his son, we're not sure, but clearly loved ones present for this amazing moment that they have been waiting 2 months for, just to see the face of Richard. Now, we'll tell you a little bit about him. He is 23 years old, a mechanic. He has worked in the San Jose mine for the last 2 years.